With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
This episode is sponsored by Friskies, who would like to tell your cats hi. Now, if that didn't get your cat's attention, there is one thing that always does the trick. Just pour some Friskies crunchy food in the bowl and you'll hear those paws come running. Works every time. With so many Friskies choices, you can always bring your cats running from their secret napping spots. There's always more to explore. See for yourself at friskies.com or visit your local store.
Hi, and welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore. I'm the Executive Director of the National Street Food Vendors Association, which is a nonprofit dedicated to education, advocacy, and uplifting all food vendors. Today, I'm going to be talking about how you can spot a food trailer builder with a cash flow problem and why you want to do that before you sign the contract. But before we get into that, I want to remind you guys I'm going to be in Edison, New Jersey this year on December 2nd and 3rd, and that's of 2025. I'm going to be part of the Food Truck Owners Expo. I'll be giving a couple of classes and having a great time in my National Street Food Vendors Association booth where you can come and visit me, sit down and ask any questions, share your success stories, and let's just have a great time there in Edison, New Jersey. Get your tickets today by going to ftoexpo.com, place the order for those tickets, and when you do, put in the code FTTG15 for a 15% discount. So why is it a big deal if a food truck builder has a cash flow problem? Well, here's the reason why it's a big deal. There are a lot of horror stories out there over the last number of years where somebody hands over tens of thousands of dollars. They're told, we'll have your trailer ready in X number of months. And then those number of months go by and there's no communication that, hey, we're running a little behind. There's nothing until you call them up and then they'll give you excuses. Or worse, you can't get a hold of anybody. This happens way more frequently than it should. It's happened to the tune of lost deposits in the millions of dollars. And that doesn't count the lost sales potential, which would be likely in the several tens of thousands of dollars. So what do you do when you're getting ready to buy your food truck? How do you check out a food truck builder to know if they're financially stable enough that you have a reasonable opportunity to get that trailer built and built on time? So first things first, what you want to do is verify that the business is actually real and it is stable. So is the company properly registered and in good standing in your city, county, and state? Do they have a real shop that you can visit, not a P.O. box or not an empty office building? Can you literally go to their build facility? How many people are working there? That tells you that, number one, they're fairly stable if they have a number of employees working there and that they're efficient. A one-person shop, and there are people out there that build using themselves and maybe a family member. So 2 dudes building your trailer is not a good idea. Oh, the cost sounds really good, but you won't see that trailer anytime soon. What you're looking for is somebody that's got a crew, 6 to 8 people. So you got people that are welding while people are doing electrical, while people are doing plumbing, while people are finishing, and there should be trailers in all of those different stages. So when you go to the build facility, you should see something that's a skeleton all the way up to something that they're getting ready to clean it so they can ship it out to the customer. If you don't see those kinds of things, then they're small time or they have a cash flow problem. Either way, run away. Don't deal with them. You want to watch the money. Pay attention to how they handle deposits. A fair deposit is going to be around 20 to 25%. The reason being that is enough to cover the initial material to get your trailer built and started. If they're asking for 50% or more up front, that's a clear sign they are robbing Peter to pay Paul. And your name probably isn't Peter or Paul. If they demand all the money up front before they even start, definitely walk away as quickly as you possibly can. You always want to ask, what does my deposit cover? What materials will you be buying with my deposit? Because there are a number of food truck builders out there that have severe cash flow problems and they need a constant flow of deposits to finish builds that are already on their assembly line process. So if you give them $20,000, it should go for materials to buy for your build. It should not go to someone else's build that is almost done, but they don't have the money to finish it. That's a business with a cash flow problem. You will understand cash flow as a business owner. You have it in smaller numbers, but it could be the same deal. You need to generate sales today so you can buy food for tomorrow. That's a problem. You should be far enough ahead that you don't have to worry about, oh my God, we got to do $1,000 today so I can buy food and pay bills. If you're buying food using today's sales to buy food for tomorrow, you have a cash flow problem. It's the same with that business, that food truck builder. If they need your deposit to finish something that's on their assembly line, they have a cash flow problem. And at some point, there will be people that will cease to give them deposits, or the cadence of deposits will be broken. And now they got stuff sitting on an assembly line that they can't finish, and they got projects that have been paid for that they can't start because they have no money. There are a number of builders in that shape right now today. 5 years ago, they were awesome because they had all kind of people throwing money at them. I need a food truck. I need a food truck. COVID, wah, wah, wah. And now that we're many years removed from COVID and people are starting to resume their past careers, there's not a whole bunch of people throwing money at food truck builders. And now all of a sudden they realize, we can't finish these projects that we started. Somebody just the other day was telling me that they were 4 months late on a delivery. So they were promised to have a food truck within 3 months, and now they're 4 months past. Clear sign that that business has a financial issue. It's not that they were suddenly busy, because they would have known that when they signed that contract. It's not that they said, oh my God, we've got all these builds to get done. They know how long it takes them to do a build. At least they better. And now all of a sudden, they're 7 months removed from when the initial down payment was made. I hate to say it, but that person is probably never going to see their money or their build. You want to research the reputation of the builder. You want to call a couple of past clients and ask them if the builder finished on time, how much their deposit was, and then what the quality of the food truck is today. There are builders that can make a pig look really, really pretty, but it's still a pig. And you don't want to find out a year from now that lipstick wears off really quickly and now you have an ugly pig trying to serve food out of it. You want to check the reviews. You're going to look for complaints. Do they have complaints about delays and broken promises? Because chances are, if somebody is leaving that kind of review, probably true. Remember, what happens to you as a business owner, especially if you're a first-time business owner, you are wrapped up in excitement. You're still in the honeymoon phase. You got the money to go start your new life, but that doesn't mean you're excused from doing due diligence. You want to trust everybody, but you also want to verify everything. That'll make for a much happier life. You want to learn how to spot the red flags. Projects that take much longer than promised. So if you're seeing in the reviews that a 12-week promise turned into 6 months, that's double the time, well, that's a problem. Pressure to pay before the milestones are even reached. How I would like to see you set up your contract with a food truck builder is, I will give you no more than 20% down. I will give you the next part of the down payment once certain milestones are achieved. So they send you, say, a photograph of the framework done with the shell completed. Okay, I'm going to release some more money to you. That's what construction builders do. So imagine a construction builder that's going to do a subdivision. So they go and they get the bank loans and get everything all lined up. The bank's not going to give them a couple $1 million to say, here, go build 12 houses. The bank is going to say, well, once the foundations are all poured, we'll release a little bit more money. And then once the framework is done, we'll release a little bit more money. So that way they don't have somebody that's deciding to take a vacation to Acapulco for a year on the money the bank just loaned them. You're the same way. You are allowed to do that. And if a builder says, nope, we don't work that way, say, not a problem, dude. I'm out. But I will let other people know how you operate. Because all you got to do is tell the truth. They can't take you to court for telling the truth. If you hear excuses that say, we can't buy your equipment until the next payment comes in, well, they've got a problem. Trailers delivered are missing equipment or they're unfinished. We see that in reviews more frequently than we should. I asked for a reach-in and I don't have one. The base cove isn't installed. Base cove is the base board if you have a house. The base cove isn't installed. There's other elements missing. That says they've got a cash flow problem. So how do you protect yourself? Number one, get everything in writing. The total price, because they know today how much it's going to cost them. If they're worried about price increases, they're already telling you that we're probably not going to get your build done on time. Because I can tell you, somebody that's going to be 6 weeks out, they know exactly how much money they're going to be spending on that build, because the prices are not going to be that volatile. They can call up their supplier and say, hey, I need to order this refrigerator, this grill, this chef's base, this freezer. I need to order these countertops. How much will those be? And you know what? The supplier knows. And if the supplier has a problem where they tell the builder that, hey, there's going to be a price increase come January 1st, they can tell them how much that price increase is going to be. They're business people. They know, they plan ahead. So when you see a contract, again, that says, in case of price volatility, we're going to increase your end payment. No, dude, you're not. You're going to tell me today how much you're going to charge me. And if you can't do that, obviously you don't know how to run a business. And you're also telling me you're going to fall behind. There are builders that put that in their contracts. They are admitting they have no clue how to operate a business, and they're going to use excuse upon excuse. That is not how it works. You want to use milestone payments. And what that means is I'm going to give you 10% down, I'm going to give you 15% down, I'm going to give you 20% down, which will buy you the materials that go into my build. And you need to order those materials today so you know what the price is. And then you need to start building it. If you can't start building mine today, I don't need you. That's how it works. They shouldn't even be advertising, hey, come check us out, unless they can start building within the same week that you order it. That's an efficient operation. That's an operation that is worthy of your hard-earned money if they can build relatively quickly. And guess what? If they're able to do it that quickly, the money that you give them is going for your material. That's what you want. Then you release a little bit more money. Once you send me photographs and verifiable photographs and video of the frame and the shell being completed, then I will release more money. How do they verify it? It's simple. They hold up a piece of paper that has today's date on it, and then they walk around and film while they're holding that piece of paper. Yeah, it's kind of hokey, but tell you what, if they're willing to do it, number one, they're hungry for business, and number two, they're reliable. Because they should understand all of the millions of dollars that have been lost on these shady builders that are out there. And you're smart enough to try to protect yourself by asking them, hey, just shoot me a video. Put today's date on something that you're videoing, and I will be happy to release more money so you can buy more material. You can ask about escrow. Some builders will work with escrow, and what that means, it is a very safe way for you to put a big bunch of money that only gets released when you agree to release it. Real estate uses escrow all the time, so that way nobody's actually holding each other's money. Include penalties for late delivery and then refund rights in the contract. Never release the final payment until the trailer is delivered, it's inspected to your satisfaction, and it's titled in your name. Very important. The trailer is delivered, inspected to your satisfaction. I can't tell you how many people tell me they go to pick up their trailer. They're trying to save themselves a little bit of money, so they go to the job site. They go to the build facility and pick up the trailer, and guess what happens? Oh, our dude is out that shows off the trailers, so just hook up and take it. No. I want to be shown how all the equipment works. I want to see all the equipment function, which means the refrigeration gets down to the temperature it's supposed to get to, the freezer gets to its temperature, all the hot stuff gets hot, and I can verify that all the burners work. I can feel the hot water, and I can use a thermometer to temp it. I want to know all this stuff works. I want you to show me all of this stuff. And then you are going to crawl up underneath it. You're going to get up on the roof. You're going to test seams. You're going to look at the welds. And if anything doesn't look the way you expected it to, point it out, tell them to fix it. Because they don't get the last bit of money until. And if they don't fix it quick enough, you have the right for a full refund. That's a contract that works in favor of both parties. It helps hold them accountable for their workmanship, because they know all this stuff that if you're able to tell it's not where it needs to be, they knew that building it, and they were hoping you weren't smart enough to figure it out. There should be a clause in there for arbitration, so a third party can come in and inspect it and say, yep, this stuff isn't good enough. They deserve a refund. Now, whether the builder has the money to refund is a whole different story, but then you can take them to court and sue them if you need to. So at the end of the day, remember this: a good builder should be proud to show you their operation, they should be proud to share references, and they should work with fair payment terms. If they resist transparency, move on. Don't even give them a second chance. I don't care how many of your friends have bought from somebody. And they're saying, this guy, they're really great. I hear it all the time. There's one that has a really good reputation amongst people that buy from him. I wouldn't deal with him because I know the guy's personality and he is a shyster. At some point, he will cease to be a good builder, and there'll be a good 10 or 20 people that will be taken. But right now, everybody loves him because he builds a good product. But the guy's personality and his past business experiences show that he will at some point mess things up and go out of business. And there'll be, like I said, 10, 12 people that'll be left holding the bag. They paid a bunch of money and they've got nothing. But all their friends have been saying, this guy's awesome. Your food trailer is the foundation of your business. Don't let somebody else's poor money management derail your dream before you ever get started. There are builders that I know today that will be out of business here in the next 2 to 3 years. They're already showing the signs of financial stress. They're seeking crowdfunding, and it's sizable crowdfunding. That tells me they're already behind in their build process because they have no money. They need crowdfunding. That's a problem. They're already not meeting their obligations as far as getting stuff done on time, again, because they have a cash flow problem. So the bottom line is, check out the builder. Just because they shove a contract in front of your face doesn't mean you got to sign it. You can negotiate down what you want them to do. As far as, I'm going to release this amount of money when you prove to me you've done the work. The money I give you today better go for materials for my build. If it doesn't, we don't need to do business. Good luck to you in your future. Thank you guys so much for listening to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. If you're finding everything useful, please consider subscribing. If you love what we do, show some support. There's a link in the description to make that happen. Until next time, you guys have a profitable day.